And that breaking news coming out of El Dorado County this noon hour, where the Calder fire continues to burn through thousands of acres, destroying dozens of homes in its path and forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes, also threatening to close Highway 50 between Sacramento and South Lake Tahoe. Overnight, residents in the community of Kybers were told to get out as that fire grew to nearly 54,000 acres. People in other areas along Highway 50 have already been told to leave, while crews are struggling to build containment lines on the ground. Multiple aircraft have been fighting this fire from above, including a big retardant dropping DC-10. Right now, Livecopter 3 is grounded because of the poor visibility from all of the smoke in our area. Otherwise, we would be bringing you those live pictures from Livecopter 3. Right now, we're seeing a view of the Calder fire from space. We want to show you this. Look at this. I mean, this is how massive it is. These are images from a European Union satellite, and it shows you just how much smoke this fire is sending up into the atmosphere. Again, that is the view from space. CAL FIRE says that there has been little firefighters could do to stop the fire's progress thus far, as it just raced through the forest, shooting flames hundreds of feet into the sky. This all started just south of Grizzly Flats and then quickly burned through that community. It's now headed toward Highway 50. We know at least 2 people are hurt. 86 structures have been destroyed. Anyone living south and north of Highway 50 from Ice House Road to Silver Fork Road is under evacuation orders right now, and that includes, as I mentioned, the community of Kybers. We have a full list of evacuations for you on KCRA.com and also on the KCRA 3 app. And now we want to take you live near where the fire is burning right now and where evacuation centers are filling up quickly. We've got live team coverage for you. We have meteorologist Melanie Hunter again tracking the wind, tracking the smoke and the air quality. Mike Tassell live at an evacuation center in Cameron Park. So we're going to start with you, Mike, and we know the other one in Diamond Springs filled up. Is that one filled up as well?
Yeah, you know, it's a fluid situation out here. You know, in every fire, there's really 2 major themes. One, what is the fire itself doing? We'll get to a live report on that in a little bit. The second, of course, is the human element and the human impact. And just listening to the evacuees from this fire, it is clear this fire is having a deeply emotional impact. To give you a sense of what it is like to be evacuated for another day, this is how the day began this morning for those who were at one of these 3 evacuation shelters at the Green Valley Church Evacuation Center. Tents were set up on the pavement, RVs, campers, and cars serving as a place to sleep. So many people currently evacuated that 2 of the 3 evacuation shelters for this fire are currently at full capacity, and the stories, the human stories at each are similar. Feelings of anxiety, hope, and a line of people eager to donate or help.
I'm not very far from Grizzly Flats, and we could see the flames. And after last night, the night before the first night, and it just tremendously just grew in size. It was crazy. It was scary because there was no warning.
Well, when you pack up, you're like, what do I take? You know, I'm looking around and see what, you know, you can grab, what pictures or whatever, and you don't get everything you want or need, of course.
And how difficult is it the not knowing what's going on in your house?
It's horrible.
Why did you drive over here?
Well, because I wanted to give pet food for people who had to leave in a hurry. And so I got that, and then some cat litter and just stuff like that.
Why were you motivated to do that?
Well, because you never know when it's going to be your turn. Yeah. So just wanted to help.
Wanted to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Getting a little emotional. Why?
Yeah. It's just it's sad what's happening.
And here now the latest status of the 3 evacuation shelters. I'm told by the Red Cross that this shelter here in Cameron Park, it is at capacity, as well as that one, the temporary initial one at the Diamond Springs Fire Hall. Both those are full. So if you're still needing a place to go, you are encouraged to go to the location at the Green Valley Community Church. That is 3500 Missouri Flat Road. This morning there was still space available there and should be over this noon hour. Meanwhile, back out here live, again, want to stress this location, Cameron Park, it is full. You should not come here. The Red Cross also asking people, listen to this, to not donate any more physical items, and that includes pet food. That's because they say, they're filled with capacity here, and they say that because every evacuee has a different need, if you feel compelled to do something, the American Red Cross says, donate directly to an aid organization like the Red Cross, which is meeting the needs of the evacuees when it comes to food, shelter, and water. Or if you want to do something in person, bring gift cards that you can donate to those evacuees, because again, there's a varying level of need. Some of them don't even know yet the status of their home, so maybe everything is fine and their home is okay. For those who are on the opposite end of the spectrum, obviously the need will be much greater as they have to move forward after their home has been damaged in this fire. But again, the big theme in all of this is still not knowing, as they wait for that time when they can go back to their home to see what the current situation is, given how big this fire has grown. Live in Cameron Park, Mike Tisell, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, really good information and great advice, Mike. Thank you so much for the live report, and thanks to the people who did those interviews with you. Let's continue our team coverage now with KCRA 3's Maricela de la Cruz. She is live for us in Grizzly Flats with the fire activity there. And what are you seeing, Maricela?
Lisa, that's right. We are in Grizzly Flats area, and I just want you to see how everything looks right now. We can see how Caldor fire has really ripped through several neighborhoods. We're on String Canyon Road, and driving through here, several of these neighborhoods are just completely gone. We have seen several houses that are just burned, and several of these down to power lines all through this area. I'm on String Canyon Road once again, and just very, very smoky. We have also seen spotty spot fires, and the area is also pretty spotty. We can't really move from this area because there's not really a lot of service, but you can see here just how the fire tore through everything. Now, driving through here, we did pass through the Sly Park area, through Sly Park Road, and that area is closed. That's because crews do need to go through the area they need it cleared out, and they are carrying heavy firefighting equipment. They don't know how long that area will be closed. However, we did speak to a couple of residents who were evacuated last night around 9 o'clock, they tell me, and they were trying to get back in there today just before 11 a.m. However, they still couldn't. Once again, part of that Sly Park Road is closed off to residents. They can't go in, and an officer did tell me that he doesn't believe that there's really an imminent fire danger. However, like I mentioned, fire crews are driving through the area, just trying to get through. So let's go ahead and listen to one of these residents.
You just deal with it, and there's not much you can do. You know, it's all in God's hands. We can't do anything about it. So you just, I'm more worried about vandals because there's a lot of vandalism going on up here.
And so, as I mentioned, just right here on String Canyon, just looking at several of these neighborhoods, just driving through, we can see how they're pretty much completely gone. The whole area is blocked off, and we have seen several of these downed power lines out in the area. We're going to go ahead and keep driving to try to see what else we can find in this area. Live in Grizzly Flats, Maricela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, the pictures you showed us, Maricela, you can really see how hot it was. I mean, melting the letters off of those street signs there, even where the fire didn't cross. Thank you so much, and our heart goes out to everyone who has lost so much there. Well, the California Office of Emergency Services hosted an update about the wildfires burning in the state, and the directors of Cal OES and Cal Fire say all of their resources are being used to fight these fires and also protect lives and protect property. The director of Cal Fire explained how they are placing the resources that they do have.
Not only are the resources stretched, but they're being used in a very strategic and surgical way. The unfortunate thing is that these fires continue to get bigger, but we're surging resources into communities to protect and reduce the impact to communities as best we can and save as much as we can. And in some cases that has been effective in keeping fire out of places like Chester. We surged resources, we herded the fire around Chester. 110,000 acres of timberland burned during one burning cycle on that fire. It did not burn Chester.
He says both the Caldor fire and the Dixie fire are very difficult to fight because of their size and because of the wind and the extremely dry conditions. We're in the middle of a drought right now.